First leg, Benito to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Benito van der Pas really raised his game after Michael van Gerwen had been knocked out in Saarbrücken. Averaged over 100 in the quarters, semis and
58.
the final, as you mentioned, Dan. That was well over 100, 110. But was brutally beaten after missing a match start at double seven when Snakebite
60.
took out 121 on the bullseye for Peter Wright to win his second European Tour event of the year. Only 3 have been played, and Michael van Gerwen's the other man to have won. So going
34.
to the top 2 seeds, Benito van der Pas, the closest anyone else has got to winning one.
Well, they've met twice in PDC darts, these two, and Benito has been a convincing winner on both occasions. Once at this tournament last year in the last 16, Benito won that one 6-2, and he also beat Joe at the start of this year 6-1. Does have a win against him in the BDO and the Dutch Open as well, although Shaggy does have a win against him. What was the illustrious tournament, Chris?
I believe it was in the England Classic Early Bird, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get 2 legs for the price of 1.
Wow. Can Joe Murnan summon up the spirit of the England Classic Early Bird and produce another victory over Benito van der Pas? Well, he started very strongly because he's left double 18 after 4 visits to the board, and Benito is nowhere near. He's dropping his darts. He's consistently low on the treble bed. He's still only halfway to finishing off a leg of 501.
Well, he was stalking around the backstage area where our commentary position is, with what I would call a real game face on from Benito van der Pas.
In the first leg,
Joe Murnan was wandering around looking like
Joe Murnan
always does, yeah. The one expression that he treats us to. But he's treated himself to an immediate break of throw.
Yeah, well, Joe Murnan was
57.
pretty admirable in getting through his first round match, because we saw 4 host nation qualifiers playing yesterday, and the German crowd, although it's not as sizable as it is today, was still making quite a racket, because all the German players put up a fight and gave them something to shout about. In Joe's case, oh my
17.
word, it's a shocker. In Joe's case, it was Gabriel Clemens whom he faced, and he won it 6-3 and didn't let the whistles and the jeers and all the antics from the crowd affect him. He got the job done. It wasn't brilliant. It was an average in the mid-80s. But there were other factors with which he had to contend, and he did contend with them pretty well. I remember there was one moment where he did turn around and give a glare to somebody because he thought he heard them whistling when he was throwing for a double, but he hit it. And that's all you can do in those situations. Get the job done, then go and have a moan about it later, because if you have a moan at the crowd while you're up on stage, things will only get worse.
100.
And we do know that Joe Murnan is a capable player, of course, himself. A PDC Pro Tour winner, won a Players' Championship in Crawley a couple of years ago.
140.
Same year picked up a couple of wins on the Challenge Tour as well.
Yeah, I believe that was the year where he had his best run on the Euro Tour as well, in Hildesheim.
41.
But not only is he looking to revoke the spirit of the England Early Bird Classic, but also the spirit of 2015.
Yeah, kind of weird that his most successful year came in the one year that he didn't have a tour card in the last 5 years, but, you know, just odd, isn't it? Dart players. Can't predict them.
Yeah, and there's too many good ones around.
40.
Van der Pas was broken in the first leg. Didn't really turn up for it. He's turned up for this, and he wants tops. Now he wants 10s. Now he wants 5s, and it's getting trickier.
30.
And Murnan has a chance
105.
to double his lead.
Could go bull first dart here, but he decides to go for 20s. That leaves 85, and now that leaves tops.
65.
One dart missed to double his lead.
Benito, you require 10.
So 10 for Big Ben.
A shot in the second.
And he lands a double five.
Benito van der Pas.
Cancels out that early break.
Third leg, Benito to throw first. Game on.
Well, it's not been brilliant from either man so far. Pretty solid stuff from Joe Murnan in the first leg with a 13-darter, but he was... well, he had 7 visits to the ball in that leg. Benito van der Pas is a player who can catch fire, though. And if he does, then we could see him start to really ratchet up his average
58.
with a succession of legs of 11, 12, 13, 14 darts, as he did against Peter Wright, nearly coming from way behind in that final to claim the title in Saarbrücken just a couple of weeks
60.
ago.
Yeah, Peter timed it right, didn't he? 10 points behind in the average, more than. Van der Pas, you talk about catching fire, that's exactly what he did, wasn't it? He
60.
dominated the scoring stats in that match, but Peter Wright was just, well, it was just Peter Wright on the finishing.
Well, Peter Wright has become one of the most reliable finishers in the world of darts, but even by his own standards, it was pretty special in that final. We will be seeing Snakebite tonight against a man whose finishing in round 1 was superb, James Richardson, 75%. Although Matt Clark was the other guy to average 75%, and he still wasn't quite good enough to stop a rampant Dave Chisnell today. 112. Chizzy, surely with the way he's playing at the minute, has to be a genuine contender for the title here this weekend.
Well, talking with Paul Nicholson during Chizzy's match, he took the weekend off in Jena, didn't he, Dave Chisnell? Said he needed to recharge his batteries. Well, it seems to have worked a treat. Yeah, not sure what Chizzy was doing that weekend. He's probably at a spa, I would imagine. Yeah, whatever he topped up with seems to have worked. Yeah, because he's been on this incredible run in the Premier League. Continued that form here.
140.
Will he be in the mix? And will Benito van der Pas be in the mix? Because Murnan is threatening to break again, unless BBDP can take out 113. And that is not going to happen.
97.
So Murnan, 8 for tops. Is that the route? You bet it's the route. You bet he takes it out. Wow, Joe Murnan is 2-1 up here with yet another break of throw. It's 3 in succession, but he did have a dart in that second leg as well. I mean, he could be 3-0 up here, Murnan, against the number 8 seed and the finalist last time out on the European Tour.
Well, Van der Pas has not got going at all. Averaging under 80 after 3 legs. He's not planning to stay in that range, and maybe he can just start to turn the screw. Since that final, Benito was beaten in the first round of Players' Championship 9 before picking up a hat-trick of wins in the second one, and then Ian White, who we saw off in the semi in Saarbrücken, got his revenge in Wigan last weekend.
135.
Still a very young player, Benito van der Pas, but still fighting to find a level of consistency.
190.
First maximum of this one, and it goes to Joe Murnan, who suddenly now looks very good to get the first hold of throw in this game.
44. Joe Uruguay, 56.
And to open up a 2-leg advantage. Double top he wants. Double top he gets. It is an 11-darter, and Joe Murnan, the world number 41, is very much the better player in this one right now after 4 legs with the number 8 seed and world number 115, I believe.
Yeah, and you can see there he's upped his game a bit again, Joe Murnan, after a shaky couple of legs. Won one of them. But it's not too shabby from Shaggy right now.
100.
Oh, 75%. That one dart at double that he did miss did cost him as well. It really, really could be 4-0 this. Joe Murnan has not had, by any stretch of the imagination, a stellar year so far. He failed to make the UK Open. He picked up 250 quid from the 6 qualifying tournaments as Benito can't find the 177. He's had a last 32 on the Pro Tour. He did make the last 16 on the Saturday last weekend. That is the best he has done on the Pro Tour. He has had a number of first round exits. He did qualify for the German Darts Masters, but was a first round loser. So look, already Joe Murnan is having the most lucrative day of his PDC year.
76, Benito, you require 134.
And he's left 88 for another break of throw and a 4-1 lead, and he's going to get a go at it because Benito, well, at least he has done some damage and left himself on top.
78.
Well, we're looking at
32, beg your pardon.
88.
George Goble just reminding Joe, mid-throw, what he needed.
74.
He nearly took it out, first start.
Benito, you require 32.
Was in the treble 20, but now Van der Pas to keep himself in contention, you'd have to say. Wants double 16 and finds it. Two missed darts from Murnan. And Van der Pas does not pass up the opportunity to move back within 1.
Well, a good set-up shot from Benito Van der Pas has made a big difference in this one. Joe Murnan, with only a 1-leg lead, admittedly he's got a break of throw, but a 1-leg lead, he could genuinely be 5-0 up.
60.
Murnan a steady campaign on the Pro Tour last year, did enough to qualify for the UK Open then. Let's see if he can fill it up, which he can for his second. Also made it to the Players' Championship finals by virtue of the field being increased to 64, and made it to the World Championship.
93.
Was done in straight sets by Mark Webster. There were a lot of top players that didn't make it to some of those events.
95.
Won't mention any names because one of them stood pretty near us. Look, he could get another 11 dart leg here. Well, he won't care if it becomes 15, but it might be 12.
78.
Well, he's had an 11 darter and a 13 darter already. Double 4 when he returns will make it a second 13 darter. And Benito Van der Pas, he's been second best right the way through this
96.
one. And it's set to continue because he's not even down to a finish once again. Double 2 for Joe Murnan. And it's 4-2 here. And we could be seeing another seeded player tumble out of the tournament. 3 have been knocked out so far.
Now can Van der Pas find something
25
to claw his way back into this, because he's been bossed by Joe Murnan. Boss.
100.
Very adept at switching to different trebles is Benito. The number of times that he hits 174s and 177s and 171s, does move around.
46.
I think part of that is due to his darts do sometimes go in at funny angles. They don't tend to lend themselves to following into the bed. At the moment he's having trouble getting him in the treble 20 at all, although he does stubbornly stay up there in that
59.
instant.
I think he missed a double, if my memory serves me correctly, for a 9-darter in the Dutch Darts Masters last year, where he'd used a different treble in 3 different trebles in both visits.
140.
Now then, these are all going in the treble 20.
140.
Well, that's his aim originally, wasn't he?
Well, he hasn't had a match yet, but he has left 84.
100.
Just
84.
Leaving himself handy in case Van der Pas can't clean this up.
14 ball. Gets the treble, double 11. And there it is, Benito van der Pas. Responds well, it's a 15 darter. And one that he desperately needed, but Joe Murnan is still in charge. And if he continues to score like this on his own throw, 2 holds, and it's good night, Irene.
Well, it's very impressive stuff from Joe Murnan. Look at that, averaging just shy of a ton.
100.
Well, that first 9 from Benito is absolutely nowhere near what you would expect it to be.
Furious performance
140.
from Benito van der Pas. I said, you know, he was walking around looking focused and up for it. Just hasn't happened. Happening now. Is it happening now for Big Ben?
139.
Again, can't find a third treble in the combo. And Murnan can just waltz to a 5-3 lead.
137.
He's found 2 big trebles in 3 consecutive visits.
And it could well be another 11 dart leg. The way this is going, 15 darts would be fine.
44.
But he'll be happy enough with that, Joe Murnan. Double top is what he's left. He's already hit it a couple of times, and if he can hit it for a 3rd time, that will be 5-3, and it forces Benito van der Pas to win the last 3 legs on the spin.
You require 40.
And he's not really looked likely to do that so far in this game. Double top for Joe Murnan. Oh, that's a wild one. But that one finds the target. It is a 15 darter. It is 5-3. And the number 8 seed and finalist last time out on the European Tour is in danger of being sent home with 0 ranking money from this weekend. He does get his prize money, but it doesn't go on his ranking. As a seeded player, you've got to win your first game if you're going to have your prize money added to your ranking.
Well, the apparent absence of Benito van der Pas' scoring power in this match. I've seen Joe Murnan, the last couple of legs that he's won, had the privilege of not having to set up a shot at the bull
95.
when he's been in the 80s. Because Van der Pas has been nowhere near.
Does make a difference.
Certainly does. And Murnan sensibly didn't opt for that route. Some players still
29.
would.
Well, I think Murnan's displayed what the benefits of that are, and it's also given him the luxury here of even, you know, he's 130 odd points behind in this leg, and now he's miles away in this leg, Benito van der Pas. But Murnan doesn't really care because he knows he's got the throw in the next leg, and the way things are going, Benito's finding it very, very difficult to break it.
Looking to set up the shot, Benito van der Pas.
47.
Hasn't done it very well, but as mentioned, Murnan a long way behind, although he's moving closer. Winner of this one taking on Gerwyn Price or Dimitri van den Berg. We're playing the 2nd game of this evening session. There's still a chance that it could be Benito, and that chance is still alive.
Benito van der Pas.
Well, again, a better leg from Benito. He's gone 15 and 14 darts in the last 2 legs on his throw, but he needs to find something decent
60.
on the Murnan throw. However, only 60 for Murnan.
From this position, he kind of needs to do what Peter Wright did to him.
Yes.
95.
Well, it would be very impressive. You can see actually the worst leg of the match, that 2nd leg, the 19 darter, that's actually the only one where Benito has managed to break Joe Murnan.
100.
That's where Murnan had a bit of a shocker. He still got a dart for that leg at tops and he missed it.
Well, how often do we talk about timing being a crucial aspect of this game? Because if Van der Pas can find a break here,
137.
he's got the throw in the decider.
That's awkward. But that's again good cover shooting from Benito.
96.
That's not enough to get to a finish though. And Joe Murnan will be first to a finish here. And it could be a very, very good one indeed. It is. It's 64 left for the match. a place in the third round and to knock Benito van der Pas, the number 8 seed, out of the HappyBet European Darts Grand Prix. He's at least asked the question, Benito van der Pas, by setting it up. He's on 41, but he may not come back to the board because Murnan is going to get one dart at double top.
24.
And he is a long way high.
Benito, you require 41.
The time has come for Van der Pas to force a sudden death leg. Needs to land double 16 to do it, and he has done it.
Benito van der Pas.
And having been bossed by Joe Murnan for the majority of this match, Van der Pas now has the advantage of throwing first in the only leg that's going to matter.
Well, how Benito van der Pas has turned this around, I am not exactly sure, but he has had to have a little bit of luck to reach this stage. He has survived one match dart. Can Joe Murnan, having been in charge, as you say, bossing this game for large portions of it,
41.
but then seeing his best chance to win slip through his fingers, can he summon up some big visits here?
134.
Where are the trebles, Joe?
60.
Where are the trebles? 41 followed by 60. It's not good enough, and Benito van der Pas, for the very first time in this game, has Joe Murnan right where he wants him.
180.
Well, Murnan may leave the stage if he does lose, wondering how that happened. Van der Pas has all the time in the world to reduce 168 to 0 and book his place in the last 16.
It appears we will have no repeat of those halcyon days of the England Classic Early Bird, where Joe Murnan recorded his sole victory over Benito van der Pas. Even a maximum there wasn't enough to get Murnan to a finish. And Benito,
you require 40.
for his best leg of the match to close it out in 13 darts.
No score.
Well, he decides to bust it, and I think that's a sensible decision given the context of the game and where Joe Murnan is in this one.
And also give him 55. The margin of miss. The 2 darts he'd thrown. If he did the same, he'd be coming back for 5. Instead, he's coming back for 40. 20. Still double 10. And this time, Big Ben gets the job done. Joe Murnan